Right. This is Christ I am disciple here. How is everybody doing tonight? We started a little late. The time now is 7:40. We're supposed to start at 7:35, but we're starting a little late. I'm supposed to be joined by Leroy Kong as a guest on here, but we'll see how things go. Okay, we'll see how things go. Um, uh, so maybe he'll come on, maybe he won't. But we're going to talk about the topic that you guys see right there. All right. Yeah. Okay. I am Christ Am Disciple, also known as Anson Phillip. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Marvel's success while DC seems to be just constantly failing. We'll talk about topics like, of course, Deadpool and the Wolverine. Um, most recently, Deadpool and the Wolverine. Hold on one second. Okay. Yes. Currently, Deadpool and the Wolverine, uh, they have grossed almost $880 million so far. They're probably going to break $1 billion over the weekend. So we'll see what's happening with that. I was just checking on Leroy to see if he responded somewhere. Yeah, I was looking to see if I see him, but I didn't see him online. So we'll talk more about Deadpool and the Wolverine. We'll also talk a little bit about DC. Batman: The Cape Crusade. The series came out on Amazon Prime, and we'll talk a little bit about that, um, people's reaction to it, etc. But it's clear, it's clear as day that Marvel is doing quite well and pleasing the fans of Marvel and people in general who go to see the Marvel movies. Um, I can't say that's true of uh, DC. Okay, DC is negative hype right now. It's like doesn't really have much hype at all, and it is sad. That's why I wanted to do this stream with Leroy Kong, and you know, talk a little bit more about uh this phenomenon. I actually went and saw Deadpool and the Wolverine, and it was good. It was good. Not in a deep way, or it wasn't Rebel Moon good. Rebel Moon's absolutely the director's cuts of Rebel Moon are just absolutely fantastic, and we will also talk about that, about a little bit about Rebel Moon, And some of other Zack Snyder's other movies, and we'll go into some of that as well. So, first of all, praise be to the Most High God. The Most High God comes first. Second of all, if you like what you've seen, you can like, share, subscribe. You can also donate via PayPal. The link for the PayPal is in the description. In addition, this stream is brought to you by LIVE products. LIVE, live now. We're live now. You can get these products in Trinidad and Tobago by ordering. You can just inbox me if you live in Trinidad and Tobago to place your order. We have a range of cleaning products. We have disinfectant. We have fabric softener. We have liquid detergent, and we also have dishwashing liquid. LIVE. Live now. We're live now. We also have 5 different flavors of natural fruit juices, which are we have sorrel, morbi, we have grapefruit, orange, and fruit punch. So check out LIVE products. Live now. We're live now. Getting into it. Let's start out first with Deadpool and the Wolverine. Again, shout out to Leroy Kong. Leroy Kong, are you coming into this stream? Can you come in? Did you click the link? Did you click the link? Okay, no one said anything there. Okay, so I really tried hard to. Oh, Gemma Rolson claps. Hello. Hey, Gemma. What's up, Gemma? Gemma Rollison. What's up, Gemma? Where are you from, Gemma? Where are you from? Shout out where you're from. Yeah, we're gonna talk first about Deadpool and the Wolverine. Did you go and see Deadpool and the Wolverine, Gemma? I'm mostly a DC fan, right? I really watch DC most of the time, but I went with my friend Dwayne uh, in the southern part of the country. We went to Movie Town and we checked it out, and it was good. You know, Gemma Rawson in the building. She clapped and then she said hello. Yeah. So anyway, getting on with it. Oh, you're from Spain. Representing Spain in the house. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all are good peoples. Good people. Spain be supporting Free Palestine. I love y'all guys. You guys are genuine good people. Good people. Gemma Rollison in the building. We're talking a little entertainment today. We're gonna talk more about Free Palestine in the next stream. I was hoping to get Leroy on here. Leroy's a big time DC fan. He also loves Marvel. And you know, as you know, anybody who knows me knows my campaign is to restore the Snyderverse. That's one of my major campaigns, right? But let's talk about Deadpool and the Wolverine first of all. Let's talk about that. I already covered this, I think, in 2 different streams. Gemma Rollison says, I need to leave. I have to go. Bad bye, but have a great day. Yeah. You have a good one too, Gemma. It looks like you you have other things to do. So you enjoy, man. Have a good one. You know, all good things. Mahoraga. Am I pronouncing your name right? Mahoraga. Mahoraga says hello. What's up, Mahoraga? Mahoraga in the building. So Mahoraga looks like you got some trees and some other things there. Yeah. Mahoraga. That's your name? That's how you pronounce it? Mahoraga? Or is it Mahoraga? Let me know. Yeah, let's talk Deadpool and the Wolverine first. Goes actually good. Now, spoilers. If you haven't seen Deadpool and the Wolverine, then you're going to get this spoiled. So you might want to hear this. But if you've seen Deadpool and the Wolverine, we're about to have some fun. So basically, Deadpool and the Wolverine is this, okay? Leroy coming in the building finally. Leroy, what's up? Hello to you. So sorry I'm so late. I just came in from work. I don't look my best right now. Great live. Hey man, you don't even have to show your face. All you got to do is just tune in. Pop on, my bro. We had Maharaga in here, and we had Gemma Rawson from Spain. Hey Maharaga, where you from? Where you from, Maharaga? Yeah, Leroy, come on in. Come on in. When I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. All right, so the first thing is that Deadpool and the Wolverine was really a lot of fun because, see, first things first. Uh, let me just sit down here. First things first. Maharag said, "Hello, I'm from Canada." Oh, okay. Now, is that your real name, Maharaga, or what does that mean? What does Maharaga mean? Maharaga or Maharaga. What does that mean? Is that English, French, Native American? I hate to say Native American. It sounds so derogatory. I'm Native Caribbean, though. Taino, is it Taino? All right, so let's start with Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's get into this, man. It was good. It was really good. Deadpool and Wolverine is basically about trying to make a difference, right? That's what the whole movie's about. And Deadpool felt like he didn't matter. He didn't make a difference. He wanted to do something, make a difference. And basically, the story is that he tried out for the Avengers. He didn't get through there. He tried out for the Maharaga. No, it's not my real name. It just means like an anime character, an anime called Jujutsu Kaisen. Ah, okay, anime. So you're a fan of anime. Nice. I like that. I got this other question for you. Lyricon says it's now at 900 million. It will reach 1 billion. Yeah, Deadpool and the Wolverine. I know. Marago says yes. Ah, cool. Oh, what? So, what do you think? Okay, all the people in the chat, Maraga and Leroy Kong. What do you guys think of Deadpool and the Wolverine? Did you go see it? And how many times have you seen it? If you did watch it, because it actually is. It's a fun movie. First of all. So yeah, Deadpool, he tried out for the Avengers. He tried out also for the X-Men, and he was rejected in both counts. And then he formed X-Force for a brief moment of time, according to the movie, and then he was rejected. Now, basically, the story is about Maharaga says the best movie. Yeah, listen, man, I think it's the most lit movie of 2024 so far. I think Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds is a genius, and he pulled it off, right? The basic story, think of Deadpool and the Wolverine like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. It's kind of like its story is paper thin, but the acting and the improv and all of that makes the story so much more interesting, and the jokes, right? So anyway, he didn't get through there. He was X-Force for a period of time, but he never felt like he made a difference. And apparently, he broke up with his girlfriend, or girlfriend broke up with him, something like that. Maharaga says it has the best intro. No movie can beat that intro. The fighting and shit. You know what's funny though? So he backtracks on the intro, right? He's fighting and whatever. It starts so funny because, of course, Wolverine is dead, right? And when we get to the point to understand what he was really doing, digging up, when he dug up Wolverine and found his body, that was hilarious, right? It was pretty funny, right? He's trying to go back. Oh, I have to go back in time. And because Wolverine died, and that's why his universe is dying, right? And the timekeeper people, you guys know what exactly the guy's name is, time, whatever he was trying to accelerate the death of Deadpool's world, right? And so, anyway, to save his world, he broke free. He jumped through some time portal thingy. I don't know what it's called. You guys can fill me in on that. And he went back to Logan. He went back to Wolverine's last movie, which was Logan. And he dug up his grave, thinking that Logan, because he's saying, well, the Wolverine can't die, adamantium, skeleton and stuff, and it was hilarious. Leroy Cohen says, excellent movie. Watched it several times. Maharaga also agrees. It was the best intro. No movie can beat that intro. I'm not going to lie. That intro was funny as hell. Okay. It starts off with him fighting, but really you had to loop around to get to the, and when you did get to it, it was funny as hell. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is funny. He really is Deadpool. He really is Deadpool. He's funny. The guy is funny. You got to give him, some of the jokes are terrible jokes. Like they're awful jokes. Like the joke that I laughed the most of, it was when Deadpool took Deadpool, a variation of Deadpool that is, at another world Deadpool, another universe, the Deadpool from the Void, which had a lot of Deadpools in it, and used him as a human shield. And that Deadpool was the only Deadpool that we know that couldn't regenerate. So he was getting killed. And but the way how the whole thing went down was so funny that you it's gut bustingly funny. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Where the other Deadpool, who had never been, he never gotten hit or anything, he had managed to avoid for so long. Um, Leroy Kong says Hugh Jackman played a variant Wolverine. Yes, he played the Wolverine that failed his world. Right, that's the Wolverine he played, because that Wolverine always getting drunk and shit. Myra says, do you think Spider-Man could beat Deadpool? I think he couldn't. Well, the thing about Deadpool, generally speaking, because there were many variations of Deadpool we saw in this movie, but particularly the variation of Deadpool, and most of them came from the Void, which is pretty funny as well. But the variation of Deadpool that I thought, um, well, Deadpool can regenerate. That's the problem. He can regenerate. So no matter how many times you kill him, he comes back. He can regenerate. He can't die, really. So that's the problem with Deadpool. Just like Wolverine. Wolverine can also regenerate. But there's a variation of Deadpool, the Deadpool that got killed in the fight out where Deadpool was fighting against other Deadpools. That Deadpool, he ended up dying, right? Because they blew his head off, right? And I don't know if he died actually or if he's dead, because again, I don't know if he can regenerate. Like, even when you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, does he regenerate slower than other Deadpools regenerate, or what? What's going on? Anyway, so the point that was pretty funny to me, and it's his facial expression as well. It was like Deadpool's telling, no, you can regenerate. You're gonna live. You're gonna live. And he was like, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. And he blows his head off. It was hilarious. It's just the way how it was done. It was funny. And that's like taboo. That's a taboo subject. That's like he's like, letting the other guy die so that he could survive. And he didn't need that. He could have taken those bullets. You know what I'm saying? He could have got shot up. He didn't need the other guy as a human shield. So it was but it was hilariously funny. Mayorga says, I pray for someone to donate to you. Lol. Don't worry about it. I get donations. Don't worry about it. And when I get donations, I get decent donations. So don't worry about it. It'll happen. Leron Cole says Blake Lively and his children played other Deadpools. Oh, okay. Right, right, right. You had Lady Deadpool as well. Cybertooth's head got chopped off. Yes, and then he started with and then he started with the Mad Max nonsense. He started calling Sabretooth's head a Furiosa. He did this whole Furiosa quote thing. It was hilarious. It was very, very funny. Leroy Kong, I placed this movie at number 7 of my top 112 greatest movies ever. Yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, that Deadpool thing was stupid. Had you cracking up. There's a lot of funny stuff, man. There was a lot of funny stuff in it. Yeah, but just getting back to the basic story. So, yeah, so basically his world would have fallen apart because Wolverine died. And so his task was to, well, his self-invented task, because he didn't actually know how this thing worked. He decided he was going to get another Wolverine to replace the Wolverine. So he started jumping through time loops or whatever they are. And that's how the first jump he did. I think he went into Logan, the last Wolverine movie, and Logan was dead, right? And then he time warped and started searching for different Wolverines. And the next Wolverine he went to, that Wolverine was kind of like what Wolverine would be, short, right? It was a short Wolverine. He jumped off the stool, and so on and so on. So anyway, he ends up finding a Wolverine who's very drunk, and he's the worst. They say he's the worst Wolverine. This is the Wolverine that caused his world to fail. So now he has to pep talk this Wolverine and to get this Wolverine to save the day and to save basically his world, right? Mahoraga says, "Do you think Thanos could beat Deadpool? I think he could." How's he gonna beat Deadpool though? How are you gonna destroy Deadpool? You can't atomize him. You atomize him, he'll just come back together. I mean, Deadpool's not. He's not killable. Deadpool's not killable. You cut off his head comes back. You can't destroy him. You can't blow him up. Nothing. You know. So Deadpool's kind of pretty indestructible. Don't forget to smash the like button, people. Just smash the like button. Deadpool and the Wolverine fought twice. Well, they fought in the movie as well, quite a lot. Yes, that was it was pretty hilarious as well. I think they fought in the where did they fight? They fought in the void inside the car, and they also fought outside the car when Wolverine first met Deadpool, and Wolverine decided to give Deadpool a whooping. But again, they can't kill each other, so it is what it is. Maharaga said, "Do you think immortality is a curse because Deadpool has it?" Uh, I mean, no, no, I don't think so. Leon Carl says each other. Yeah. So anyway, he ends up with this Deadpool. He ends up with this Wolverine, and now he has to get this Wolverine to care. Now he has to get this Wolverine to help him save his world. And that big fight in the car was about that. And they end up anyway in the void. So he brings back a Wolverine to the time controlling people. I don't know what the guy's name is. And the guy doesn't want them to succeed. So he kicks both of them into the void. They end up in the void. It's a basic story, like I said before. They end up in the void. They find out about the void from the friendly Deadpool because he meets Deadpool dog, right? The dog Deadpool, or I don't know what you call it. I wonder who's the third person in the stream. Third person in the stream. I don't know. Anyway, so uh, he meets this Deadpool. This Deadpool tells him about Xavier's sister, who's in this void. She controls the void pretty much. She's like the gatekeeper. She destroyed Magneto. She destroyed everybody, and we saw Chris Hemsworth come in as the Human Torch, and she destroyed him. And anyway, the long and short of it is, the dog Deadpool is named Dogpool. That's right. And Dogpool, his tummy's always hanging out the side of his head because he's just tired of what. So anyway, yes, Dogpool. Thank you. Anyway, the movie is hilarious. Okay, they end up anyway coming out of the void. How they do this is through um, sort of distraction, where they Blade and Elektra and what's his name, uh, Gambit, right? Blade, Elektra, Gambit, and also X-23. They all attack the fortress uh, of Xavier's sister. Yeah, Gambit. And first time we see Gambit, right? And they bring back Wesley Snipes' Blade, which was really dope. They bring back they bring back Elektra. What's her name? Ben Affleck's ex-wife's, who played that, Jennifer Garner. And it was great. It was great to see them, and also to see them in action, taking on and then of course, uh, she's not Professor X. I don't know what you call her, but she ends up, freezing everybody. But they use the helmet of what's his name? What's his name? Juggernaut. You use Juggernaut's helmet on her head. I don't even know how Juggernaut's helmet even fit on her head. Juggernaut's helmet's big. Anyway, they did. One of them shot her, and they promised. So what Deadpool did was Deadpool said you have to take off the helmet from her head, and so they took off the helmet from her head to save her life. And because of that, uh, she sent them back to the portals. Talking about Xavier and all that, she sent them back to the portal, but not before that thing that looked like Dune, the thing from Dune, not exactly from Dune, but it's more like a storm or whatever, was going to come to eat them all. But they went through the time thing and they ended up back to the place, and that same timekeeping guy that was supposed to accelerate everything. Yeah, you go ahead and eat dinner, my friend. Yeah, if you want to be back to the stream, it's fine. Uh, I don't remember all the names of everything, but the basic story is that they were able to, even though, uh, yeah, no problem, man. Even though they were able to go through the time loop, they returned. Um, then, of course, what's her name? It seems as though they were doing some sort of paradox thing, something called the time paradox or something like that. So this paradox thing, she was able to access it, and she was decided to destroy all universes and have everything in the void, where she would be able to control everything like God. This is Xavier's sister, and she almost succeeded, except that Deadpool and Wolverine were able to short circuit the thing, and so it exploded. She, I guess, got sucked back into the void or something. I don't know what happened to her. And they managed to survive. They were supposed to die, but and because of that, he was able to save his own timeline, and the Wolverine just continued to go about his business. He didn't hang around with him. He went about his business. So that's basically the story. The story is a basic story. Uh, Lyric Count says Pyro made an appearance. Yes, Pyro did make an appearance. Not only Pyro did make an appearance, the Hulk. We saw the Hulk reflection in Wolverine's claws in one of the realities. So one of the things when Deadpool was jumping from universe to universe to universe and seeing the different kinds of Wolverine, was the Wolverine going up against the Hulk, and you saw just the bit of it before Deadpool left there. We also saw Henry Cavill as Wolverine, which was crazy. I mean, Henry Cavill looked the part of Wolverine, and then he did the he did the flex the muscle thing before he stabbed Deadpool into another universe, which was really cool. Yeah, he got hit by the Hulk. I know. It was dope. It was dope. And the other thing was, in the flashback when he was younger and he was trying to be an Avenger, instead of seeing Tony Stark's, he saw Tony Stark's, the guy who takes care, used to be the limo driver for Tony Stark's, the guy took care of most of Tony Stark's affairs, So that was really cool as well. He took shots at WB, yeah, with the Henry Cavill thing. Yeah, those shitheads that down the street. Yes, I remember that. But he was right. Which leads us to the point that I wanted to make, that WBD's management is atrocious. Now, if you had told me Ryan Reynolds was in charge of DC, like if you say that Ryan Reynolds was DC's head of DC, I would definitely go with that, because the guy is smart. You know what I mean? He knows to bring back Zack Snyder. He knows that Zack Snyder's Justice League is a winner. It's a thumbs up. He knows what he knows what's up. And he wanted to come back as Green Lantern, for crying out loud. It's sad because it's like such poor management at DC, and DC has zero buzz. In fact, DC wasn't even at Comic-Con. Rebel Moon was at Comic Con. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon was at Comic Con. Some of the merchandising for Zack Snyder stuff was at Comic Con. You know, you had Marvel blowing it up at Comic Con. You know, the Doom's um, um, Doctor Doom being revealed as help me out here. What's his name? I can't remember his name for nothing. I just can't remember his name. The guy who played Iron Man, anyway. Right? Great stuff. Great stuff. You know, Marvel's killing it. And, you know, as much as Disney, you know, takes APAC money, and I'm not cool with that, I gotta say, Marvel is killing it. They have Secret Wars, Robert Downey Jr. Thank you very much, Leroy Kong. They have Secret Wars, and then they got what's it called? Doom something. Whatever. But Doctor Doom's in it. And I could see all of this stuff kind of linking up, the X-Men and all of this stuff linking up, and they're making a big, you know, shebang out of it. The one thing I love about Deadpool, I gotta tell you guys this. The one thing I love about Deadpool said a lot of commentary on a lot of stuff. He even threw shots at Disney. A couple times he threw shots at Disney, which was hilarious. But one of the things I like about you know Deadpool is Deadpool kept the serious characters serious. They weren't making no jokes. Not once did the Wolverine make a joke. Not once did Blade make a joke. The situation was funny. Gambit was funny. You know, Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday. That's it. Avengers Doomsday. I can't believe this. Leroy, come. Help me here. They got Avengers Doomsday. Let me see if I can say that again. They got Avengers Doom. We had Doomsday. We had Doomsday in BVS. You dig what I'm saying? Zack Snyder was putting together something like that. Why is it that WB is so stupid? We could have had our big thing. We could have had our big thing that was rivaling Marvel. Why is Warner Brothers Discovery so stupid? Where is their stock at? Let me go check this stock. Hold on a second. I'm gonna freeze up a little bit. Don't worry about it. Stay there. Stay with me. I'm right. I'm here again. Right? Warner Brothers Discovery stock is right now standing at $7.71 a share. $7.71 a share. Consistently this year, they've been under $8. Okay? They tried to sell, nobody wants to buy the company. Right? Because and last year they were at $12 and something cents, I believe, a share. They came down from $25. Right? Why? Because the company continues to make poor decisions. A huge amount of Warner Brothers money was going to come from its comic book movies. That was supposed to be billion-dollar movies by now. Instead, they're $100 million flops. Flop after flop. And you know James Gunn's movie's gonna flop. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this, except for James Gunn's fans. Everybody knows Superman 2025 is gonna flop. It's gonna flop. And everything that James Gunn is doing, Creature Commanders and all this Kite Man and all this bullshit, it's gonna flop. Oh, let's talk about Batman, the Cape Crusader. I saw little bits and pieces of it that were free on YouTube. Talk a little bit about that. Leroy, what do you think about that? What do you think about Batman, the Cape Crusader? The hype for Marvel is I mean, we talk about the X-Men. The X-Men, just a piece of the X-Men universe was picked up. And it came off really good. It came off really good. Of course, it was rated R. You have to go all the way. You can't go. You can't go some of the way. And this is the thing. This is the thing that Marvel's getting, but DC, for the life of me, they never get it. They don't get it. They don't know how to take something and go all the way with it. The Harley Quinn rated R movie, Birds of Prey, didn't go all the way. They didn't go all the way. Deadpool goes all the way. All the way. If you gotta kill somebody, kill him. You know, if it's gotta be bloody, it's gotta be bloody. You go all the way. That's you know, Real Con says meh elsewhere. Right. So you didn't think it was all that. And I gotta agree with you. I didn't see nothing new. I didn't really see there was different takes like on the Penguin, you know. I thought it was gonna be more brutal. I thought it was gonna be more, you know, rated R. It wasn't rated R. You know, it was dialed back. I thought it was gonna be, you know, heavier, but it was dialed back. I was expecting it to be really sick and everything, and it was alright. It was alright. You know. Um, so the Penguin episode, I saw the forgot what the guy is. The guy with the kind of looking like the question mark on his face. I saw that episode, pieces of it. You know, it was alright, like you said. It was meh Elseworlds. It was alright. You know, Bruce Timm is good, but you know, some of it was just like, you know. Um, I was expecting Batman to be, you know, a little bit more than what it was, but it's kind of like a rehash of Batman the Animated Series. Just sometimes they switch the gender or they switch the race. You know, Commissioner Gordon and stuff. Not to say that it was bad. It's just like you said, it was kind of like meh. Some of them, you know. I don't think Matt Reeves can do something original. He don't really have an original idea or thought. Or J.J. Abrams, you know, they're the two producers. But it wasn't quite, you know, it wasn't quite anything new. You know what I mean? It was more of a reinvention, somewhat. You know, some of the original stories change up a little bit. You know, you get Firebug instead of Firefly and that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you think. We'll see how. I didn't watch the whole series, so I can't really say. But it wasn't. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be advertised as. What it was advertised as, it wasn't really that. It was dialed back still. And that's the problem with Warner Brothers. And what they do, they dial back too much stuff. You know? Look at Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, the director's cut, which I thought, having seen the director's cut, I think Zack Snyder should have just done the director's cut. And people will say, well, you know, it was much more sanitized. I mean, nah, Rebel Moon, the director's cuts is the joint. And I'm still watching the director's cuts, by the way. I'll put out a review very soon. Leroy, what do you think of the director's cuts of Rebel Moon, man? I really liked it. I really liked it. And, you know, so much to talk about and unpack on that. So that's another story for another day. But I really liked Rebel Moon. What I got to understand, particularly with Nemesis, was it was the gauntlets that actually taught her what was up. And then with Tarak, you know, you got a little bit more of the story of Tarak. You know what I mean? You got more of General Titus, because General Titus, we didn't know that he escaped, right? Didn't know he escaped. And you know, even the beginning, God damn, the beginning of Rebel Moon was crazy. You know, where the king who had housed Darian and his sister Blood Axes, they had housed them, and they were fighting off, of course, the Mother World, the troops from the Mother World, led by Atticus Noble. And it was crazy how, you know, the son had to kill his father. His father was begging him to kill him, but didn't realize it was really playing into Atticus Noble and the Mother World's hands, because they would use his rage. to fuel pretty much what they did to Korra. Belisarius, when Korra tried to kill Belisarius by pulling the trigger to kill him, he was like, all right, we're going to recruit you and we're going to use your rage and your anger and stuff for the mother world. And it's pretty much the same thing that Atticus Noble did. And, it was weird because, man, Atticus Noble is such a wicked motherfucker. And he's so intimidating at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Mahoraga says, I'm back, bro. What's up? He's so intimidating at the same time, because he's smart, he's shrewd, he empathizes very well with people. But at the same time, he's so cold and calculated. Like, it's all about whatever he can get to leverage advantage on his enemy. Like, he looks at anybody who supported Darien and his sister Blood Axe as the enemy. You know what I mean? And they talk about the slain king not knowing that Belisarius was the one that planned to kill the king. But I thought it was really dope. I thought that oh man, seeing that excuse me. Right. Seeing the um um some reason I can't remember the name of the sentient being that caused them to time jump. Uh, um, shit. For some reason, I can't remember the name right now, but the beings that would actually generate the power for them to be able to time jump to go through different time zones, and also um, power the ship pretty much. I forgot what her name is. That was pretty cool. Seeing that piece right there, and then seeing that they were fueling the ship with basically the charred remains of dead people and stuff like that was crazy. It's just crazy. It's so almost horrific, you know. And that imagery means so much. I could say so much about that imagery. That's crazy. Civilization feeding off of the dead of another civilization. It's crazy. We're gonna go there sometime. But just the beginning of that movie was different. It was intense. And of course, while he did keep the king's lineage going through the son, he killed off everybody else. And the father thought that the son would he would be able to save his mother and sisters. But no, man, Atticus Noble made sure they didn't live. Nobody survived, you know what I'm saying, except for the son. Um, and he was so evil that he got the son to kill his own father. That's crazy. And his father pleading for him to kill him. It's crazy. It's just really ridiculous. But ultimately, in the end, you all know, Atticus Noble was. I mean, hey, listen, Cora, aka Athaliah, is a beast. She's man. Is she coming after you? She's coming after your ass. And what I liked about Rebel Moon was Athaliah was still female. The energy was female. She wasn't trying to be a man. She wasn't trying to be tough, but she was a badass. And there was a reason why she's the most sought after criminal in the entire universe. It was because she's a badass. Like she would take down 5, 6, 7 guys like nothing. You know what I mean? Um, and as she said, she was a child of war. She was born. Another thing that was really cool about the movie was they made it sound like she didn't have sex with the guy who they referred her to, who wanted to wife her. He wanted to be her husband, but she did. It was just that she didn't have no connection to him, shall we say. And so it was like because in the PG-13 cut, it didn't even have that. And also, there's just a lot. It's just a lot that the director's cut had that the PG-13. Like for example, you know, we didn't know that there were these bounty hunters that were spying on them and sending the information back to uh, the King's Gate, right? The Dreadnought ship. So they were actually sending information all the way through, and it was really um, Jimmy or James or JC 109 who took them down and then told Cora about it. Because it that information about the dropship that Cora was moving in, if that information had gotten to Atticus Noble, because he had a lot of information on them, right? But he didn't have that particular piece of information. It was a critical piece of information, which allowed Athaliah to get onto the Dreadnought ship, the King's Gate ship, right? She was able to get into formation and then fake as if the ship was damaged and that they were also damaged. And that's how she got onto the ship. And the other thing was how even in the PG-13 version, there was an explosion that caused the gunner the gun that would shoot to bomb out the whole city and all of that Veld farming community. Um, it was an explosion that caused them to miss. But in this version, it was actually Athaliah who had taken on everybody in the room and killed off most of the people. And because of that, they missed. The separate explosion, which happened when uh, the troopers discovered it, um, was what brought down the King's Gate, right? What brought down the King's Gate. But really and truly, it was the only thing I got a question about, right? Was the drop ship that they came onto the King's Gate with, was it um was it strapped down or something? Because remember, the whole ship is tilted at an angle and everybody's falling and all kinds of shit. And I seen ships falling and stuff. What did they have a gravity field or something? And how did they get to that? How did they get back to the ship to get inside of it to fly out? All of that, I didn't quite grasp how that happened. So I feel like there's still missing gaps in the story, but the story more or less explains itself. But nonetheless, the point I'm making is that there was all those things that were missing, and then there was big plot holes, in the studio version, the PG-13 version, which were filled up completely because there was a big story missing about James, right? And James, explained how, his relationship with the land, his relationship with this world, Velt, he was personifying it as a woman, and then even his relationship with Issa, and how he was being freed to roam the land, and how he be free to rule himself, which is why he put a crown upon his head and so on. So there was all that stuff that was just left out. And then, there was a lot of stuff that was left out concerning, um, the Cora, because Cora told the story multiple times. She was telling different parts of the story multiple times, both in part one and then in part two. She was telling more of the story, and she was telling you more about Issa and more about. Well, of course, she and Jimmy were kind of telling us all, filling in all that background about Issa, who was the first Issa, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So it was a lot, to take in, um, a lot more, in terms of story, in terms of back lore, etc. That a lot of people didn't realize. But anyway, I'll do my review of Rebel Moon. Again, like I said, it's going to take a little while before I do the review of the Rebel Moon because uh, there's a little bit more of it I got to talk about. Now let's talk about Zack Snyder's movies first. First of all, and why I just read an article by a guy who's a Marvel fan who wrote it, and he's saying how Army of the Dead is off with Netflix. They're not going to continue Army of the Dead stuff, and I don't know how true this is. And they're saying that Deborah Snyder's saying how they're not going to be continuing this or some kind of stupidness like that. Um, I don't believe that. I think Planet of the Dead and all those things are going to come true. It's just Zack Snyder's doubling down on Rebel Moon right now, and he's focused mostly on Rebel Moon. Of course, the critics are panned it and stuff, and that doesn't mean anything to us. It was a great story. Yeah, it is a great story. Rebel Moon is a story about resistance, obviously, and the people who are committing the resistance right now, they are seen as wicked and evil by the people of the mother world. And so anyone who has assisted them in any way is considered a terrorist. And does that sound familiar when we talk about free Palestine and they talk about, oh, you're with Hamas if you say you're free Palestine. If you say it's a genocide going on in Gaza, you're with Hamas. And I don't want to go into that. That's why I say I want to do the review. That's something totally different. But I would just like to say this. All of Zack Snyder's movies have been empowering. You start off with, uh, you know, Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is an empowering movie because these people were able to make it almost to the end with the zombies and everything. And even the person who escaped, I think it was the woman, even though she had been bitten or whatever, just kind of like at the end of Army of the Dead as well. What was interesting is they were able to make it through that almost impossible situation. Now let's look at 300. 300 again, very inspirational, saying that only 300 soldiers were able to turn back the Persian army to the extent to which the follow up brought Greece victory, right? So they lay down their lives, but in resisting, which is the whole point of it, in resisting, even though they all died save one, they started a revolution. When you look at Rebel Moon, it's the same thing. Part one started a revolution. It started a revolution about the dreadnought, about the mother world, about the pushback. And then part two, they literally accomplished that and they joined the resistance. And the resistance, everybody, now they're going to look for Isa, which is the next follow up thing. Um, and for those of you who haven't seen Rebel Moon, the director's cuts, I advise you to watch those. Now, the first part is the longest. Okay, it's pretty long, and I was very tired the night, so I fell asleep, and I had to go back and watch it in parts. I missed a lot of stuff because I fell asleep. And still now I have to go and watch it again. Um, I may watch part of it tonight, and then watch the rest of it again another night. But suffice it to say that what makes Rebel Moon so good is the story. It's the story. Um, it's a story about. It's a story about. If I was to summarize it very simply, it's a story about the average common man prevailing. That's what it's about. Okay, it's about the Leroy Kongs of the world, the Maharajas of the world. It's about the Gemma Rawlinsons of the world. You guys prevailing. That's what that story is about. That's why Gunner was such an important part of the story. Gunner was he was a common farmer. And these great warriors trained the common farmers to resist. And even the Blood Axe rebels, right? They took common people who were in slavery and oppressed and made them fight for what they believed in. As a part of the Rebel Moon. It's both in the director cuts and also in the PG-13 version, where it says, if you really believe what you believe? Are you willing to die for what you believe? That's what was said by Darian Bloodaxe. And when rubber meets the road, and talk is cheap, as we all know, it really is about your actions. It's really about what you do. And he's so dead on with that. So yeah, uh, Rebel Moon, uh, you know, is about the common person standing up for what they believe. When I think of the Palestinians, when I think about people in Congo, when I think of the people in Somalia who stand up, they're not going to go anywhere. You're going to have to kill me here, but I'm going to defend, because a lot of these worlds, they wanted to negotiate with the mother world, but the mother world wasn't interested in negotiation. They wanted to try to, you know, leverage something that they had. I think they're useful, and the mother world didn't want to hear that. They would destroy them. They would just destroy them, right? Destroy them. And pretty much we are expendable for the elites, for those people who talk about the world is overpopulated. And the only way we're going to live and survive is if we resist. We don't go quietly into that fine night. We resist. And what do I mean by resist? What we're doing right now. You talk about these things. You let them know. You let everybody know. You start to withdraw your support from companies and firms and establishments. You have civil disobedience for certain things where it goes against the interest of the people. That's what has to be done. Because truth is your greatest weapon, you know? And it's really awesome because these two movies, but George Lucas' Star Wars and Rebel Moon, they're the same kind of movie. They're the movie where both directors are actually commentating on the oppressed, the people who didn't pick a war with anybody outside of their own domestic place. The Cambodians and the Vietnamese were bombed to goddamn smithereens by the United States. And George Lucas decided to write Star Wars off of that. And when we look at the mother world, they blow up, all the civilizations and the places on planets and worlds. They blow them up. They shoot them down, blow them up, bomb them, right? They take trinkets. They take like the teeth of the great leaders of those places, right? But they bomb the place. They don't care. They take some slaves. They brand people, you know. So the point I'm making is that don't forget to smash the like button, Mahoraga. The point I'm making is Rebel Moon is very real. Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch, very real. Man of Steel, very real. When you look at uh, uh, Alza Gahul, very real. Think about what I'm saying. Watchmen's probably nihilistic to some degree. There's a lesson in it, but it's kind of more generically, not generic, but it's not personal. So it's more of a what is the greater good? When you look at Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Army of the Dead, which is very intriguing. I would like to see how that's connected to Rebel Moon, which is why I don't believe that Netflix is canceling Army of the Dead. That's no way, because it's connected to Rebel Moon. So I don't believe that. Also, when you look at his work, now I think Rebel Moon is probably his best commentary on pop culture and right events happening right now. But I think Zack Snyder's Justice League is his best work so far. Um, when you look at the kinds of conversations that Zack Snyder is willing to have with his fan base, with his audience, you ask yourself, well, what the hell is Warner Brothers doing? How can you not see that this guy is the guy for DC. I mean, what Marvel is showing you that comic book movies can be rated R. Marvel is showing you that serious characters should stay serious. Exactly. Don't get me wrong. Rebel Moon is a pretty heavy thing to eat. Okay, you're not into heavy stuff, nutritious stuff. You're not going to really fully enjoy what Rebel Moon is until people unpack it for you. That's why I said this is a movie you have to watch a couple times. The director's cut, particularly. I'm not interested anymore in the studio cuts. And they're pushing the studio cuts all the time, but I'm not really interested in studio cuts. I'm interested in the director's cuts, right? And it's again, the stuff that's happening in real time and the stuff that movie is saying, they seem to run, overlap with each other very, very, very nicely. But I'll save that for when I'm doing Free Palestine and when I talk about the war, the military industrial complex and warmongering and why warmongering is profitable to certain people, right? And I go into great detail in Rebel Moon about that. Great detail. Not only in terms of why certain people want things a certain way, but also the lack of relevance of them if it was peace, and the fact that they may be tried and prosecuted and maybe even put to death. So it's like there was all that was going on in there. Um, so why Zack Snyder is not even mentioned for DC? Why is he not even in DC right now? It's beyond me. Beyond me. Okay. Now, Leroy Kong, he said something. I just want to get to that somewhere here. He said something that was really cool. Leroy Kong says Wesley Snipes should be Blade. I totally agree. Now, there's another guy that's going to play Blade, but Wesley Snipes should be in the Blade series or the Blade movie or whatever Blade something. They should pay tribute to him, just like how when what's his name? Help me out here. The guy that played Shaft. Not the original guy, the other guy. The other guy that played in Star Wars, he played Windu. Uh, Windu. He was also in Die Hard. He was also in Glass. Help me, Samuel L. Jackson. When Samuel L. Jackson played Shaft, the original guy that played Shaft was in that movie. And similarly, if you're gonna do Blade, make sure that the original guy that played Blade has a significant role in the Blade series or movie or whatever it is that's coming out. Because I'm telling you, man, Wesley Snipes is a good Blade. Jennifer Garner looked great as Elektra. You know what I mean? So, and of course, Zack Snyder wants to do an Elektra movie, so that would be interesting if he had, Jennifer Garner as the Elektra, how he would film that and stuff. Oh man! And then the visuals of Zack Snyder's visuals are always crazy in the action scene. So I would love to see that. Um, yeah, Leroy Kong, Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. I got you, brother. I got you. Um, so it behoves us why Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. I mean, come on now. Marvel is just killing it with the team up movies. And we're still trying to get Superman off the ground. What the freaking hell is wrong with this company? You know? Anyway, I don't want to curse. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. We spent an hour, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds talking about it. I look forward to seeing the Snyderverse restored, whether Warner Brothers goes under or DC goes under. I still want to see the Snyderverse restored, whether it's on Netflix, whether it's through Comcast, Universal, I don't know. But one of the most intriguing things we saw on Twitter was when a fan asked Zack Snyder, he said, Robin, when he was killed, was it like in the traditional way with the warehouse thing, or was it something else? And Zack says it's something else. And everybody was like, ah! People pulling out their hairs and, oh my God, you know, we need to see it. We need to see it. We need to see it. We need to know more. And the only way that's going to happen is if we have Zack Snyder Justice League 2 and 3. I don't care if it's a Final Crisis movie for the 3 or whatever. I don't care. Make it happen, people. Make it happen. Leroy Kong says, great live. Thank you very much, Leroy Kong. Great. So that's all I got for you guys for now. Restore the Snyderverse strong. We're going strong. We're not going to stop. This is not going to end until Zack Snyder's Justice League, the sequels, is seen on the screen, and I believe it will. But you guys enjoy the Rebel Moon movie. We've gotten Rebel Moon. We got it now. I think next month, in the 16th of next month, we're looking at Twilight of the Gods. So Twilight of the Gods is again connected to Army of the Dead because of the Götterdämmerung, which means Twilight of the Gods. So I'm looking forward to it. Until then, people, you have a great night. Don't forget to smash the like button, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget you can also donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. As well as, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that if you're in the Trinidad and Tobago area, you can buy some LIVE products. That is, live now. We live now. What you need out. Have a good one, people.